for another episode, another interview with a fantastic guest of mine. I've known Sarah for about a year. I met her this time last year through a friend, and I remember the first time I met you, Sarah. I was like, I love her energy. I love her authenticity. I just love the fact that you're so open and welcoming. And I'd never met Sarah. I didn't even know who Sarah was at that time. And then some lady I was with was like, SarahCyclist. I was like, what does that mean? She cycles. Yes. So, I'm so happy that I've gotten to know you like a little bit over the last year. And hopefully with time our friendship will grow and all that kind of stuff. But thank you so much for coming on the show and letting the people into your world, okay?
Oh, it's anything for keeping.
Oh, thank you, my love. So, please, tell the people who is SarahCyclist.
So, I'm just a girl with a bike. That I love cycling. I love going around the island on a bike. I believe if you see anything, cycling is more fun than doing it on, during a walking session or a running session.
Okay.
I'm very biased towards cycling.
How did you get into cycling?
So that happened casually when I was 16 in Canada, British Columbia, Victoria specifically. Okay, so it's a really nice island.
Okay.
Very safe, very easy going people there. You can do whatever. So we moved there in the summer, and my dad was renting a house. So in the basement there were 2 bikes. We were so bored, like it's me and my brother, who's 4 years younger than me. That like we can't wait for our dad to come from uni to go all the way to like downtown to have fun. And my mom didn't feel comfortable to like take us out by herself, so we have to wait for the dad.
Because this was a new environment for you.
It's a new environment, yes. This is the first summer that we spent it right there, because he was doing sabbatical year there. So I remember I asked my dad, there are 2 bikes under in the basement. Can we ride it? He's like, listen, I've got to ask for permission if we can use them. So he dropped a line to the owner of the house. Can we ride, can my kids ride those 2 bikes? And he said, yes, just make sure there's air and the pump is there and enjoy.
Oh, amazing.
I love Canadians. They're very easygoing.
Honestly,
so
Canadians are one of the most open, relaxed people that I've ever met. Every single Canadian is just so warm, right?
And I'm grateful for them because this is how I learned about cycling. And that was my first time to get on a bike. So they had 2 bikes. There was a road bike and an mountain bike. And I remember my brother couldn't get on a road bike because it had, I think, tiny saddle for him, or it was higher. I don't know, we were kids, we just wanted to get on the vehicle, and we did ride. And then we came back, and the respect that we got on the road there just stayed with me the whole time until I came back to Bahrain. Because I remember, now as a coach, I do understand why this happened, It's because when, for example, in downtown, it was me and my brother trying to get on a bike. So there was a big bus behind us. And the bus saw us we're hesitant. We're trying to get on the bike, but we were a bit industrial. We're expats. We're not from Canada. And we're a bit worried. So he while he was in the bus, he said, "It's okay, relax.
Nice.
You get on the bike, and then I will overtake." So I was a teenager. I was like, did he just say, just get on a bike and then I will overtake? And my brother said, are you sure he said that? It's I think I did the signs and the lefts correctly, and I think that's what he said.
So how did you learn these signs and all the things that you needed to?
It's it's anything. It's get this and then that. So it's a bit something like that. As a kid, you can understand it. So I was like, okay, I got on the bike, we cycled for a bit, and then he overtook us. So I was like, wow, the respect you get as a cyclist on the road.
I want that.
I really wanted that. But now as a coach, I think we were wobbly. That's why he kept distance from us.
He was just I just don't want to knock them over. But
at that time, it was the respect that I came back to the country, and I told my dad, I want to get on a bike.
In Bahrain. And what was Bahrain like?
So he looked at me. He was like, you're a girl. You're a Bahraini girl. You've got to be a bit careful. I said, I have the perfect plan. He said, what's your plan? So I'm going to cycle in Awali. So Awali is a compound. It's an expat compound here in the country. It's all for mainly for back employees. And they're all expats. So I told him, listen, you know, if I cycle there, who's going to bother look at me?
I'm going to be safe enough.
Safe,
like, the roads are quite like
exactly
safe as well.
Exactly, it's a closed environment.
It's gated almost.
It's gated as well. You know, at that time it was gated. You wouldn't let anyone outside. But the security got to know me. And they were like, oh, come in, Sarah. You know, they know me. They follow me. It's like, why did you stop right there? You know, we saw you.
Do you know what? Just to interrupt, that's one thing I love about Bahrain and Bahrainis. Honestly, I've told you guys, I've lived in Lagos, I've lived in Dubai, I'm from London, and Bahrainis will help you when they can. They will make you like, okay, you know, yalla, yani, go. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate that. So
I love it.
It's amazing to know that culture has always been there since as far as when you were cycling, started cycling. Amazing.
So then, you know, obviously, I remember I did my, because I cycled in Awali. But the first bike I got it was through my friends. So my friends knew that I love cycling, so they said we will, you know, they got me a bike. But that bike was like just like a normal cheap bike.
So your friends came together, put money together to get you a bike.
And I looked at the bike and I was like, thank you, it's a bike, I love it. But I want the one with a drop and same tire so I can go fast. And I didn't know at that time we don't do a lot of Google, right? So I'm talking about 20 years ago, you know. So
times have changed.
You know, time changed. So I was like, I knew that I like that type of bikes. I like the thin ones that goes fast. And you know, the lighter. You know, I love that. So they got me one that was heavy, metal. But I didn't ride it.
Great friends. At least they were encouraging your passion. You know what I mean? But my thing is, how did you know the kind of bike in that short period of time? How long were you in Canada?
So
and how did you know?
I was there only for 3 months.
But somehow you learned all
I
this.
knew. I like speed. Like the same thing when I do for my clients when they come and learn. I watch how they learn. I watch how they ride. And then I advise them what kind of a bike that will suit them.
Oh, amazing.
You know, so like, you know, yesterday's find I had, you know, I told her, I was like, girl, you love speed. You love speed. Okay, she's like, I was like, I was like, you do like speed. That scared me because you're in my class. I just want to make sure nothing happens to you. But I know what type of a bikes that you'll like it eventually.
Okay, so now you're back in Bahrain. You're cycling. How did you turn that into a community for women? Because this is one of the main reasons why I said I must have Sara in here. Because she has the cycling bees, which you're going to tell us a little bit about. But some of the women I've come across through cycling bees are just such wonderful women that I was like, do you know what? As they say, a fish rots from the crown, or like, you know, everything blossoms from the head. So that's a real credit to you, because those women really do reflect how awesome you are. So tell me how cycling bees came about.
It's quite interesting how the whole thing started. So when I started cycling in Awali, I put together randomly a group of expats I used to cycle with. We started cycling in Awali, then we started cycling all the way down to Zalal, and it was a big achievement for us. We cycled all the way, like they have, you know, sambusa, potato bowls. You know, it was the fun for us. That's 17 years ago. When Sofitel was being built, we saw it being up. Amazing. I love it. I wish I took pictures. We used to stop and say, this is there, this is there. We just enjoy the moment. Oh my goodness. So, you know, then my group left the country. So I felt very alone. Then I met a random boys in the bike shop. Because this is where you hang, right? You always run bikes. Once you buy a bike, like, what else can I get? And you have a friends. Okay, what can I have? I'll change the party, you know, I'll change the color. So we're always there. So I met those Bahraini boys. And they said, why don't you tag along? And I'm like,
again, Bahrain hospitality.
But for me, it was a big jump for me, because I wouldn't cycle with anyone local. Because I was worried about the image, what they're gonna think as a girl. So I really avoided interacting. Exactly. But this group, I felt comfortable, and I started riding with them. Started doing races. And I remember the first race I did in Bahrain. One of the coaches came and said, "Oh, by the way, in Bahrain, we have different dialects, so we speak like this." So I had a laugh. I was like, "Oh, he doesn't know Bahraini." But because I was avoiding, so I just introduced myself as Sarah. So he doesn't know, you know,
he's not really sure where you're from.
Exactly. So you get
because they have people tend to have a conception of what they think
exactly.
a Bahraini looks like. So
exactly.
when you're not fitting the mold.
Exactly. So I'm just Sarah with a bike, and she loves cycling.
Yes.
She's always on the
She's a
bike.
girl on the bike.
Whenever I'm good, I'm on a bike.
Yes.
Whenever I'm stressed, I'm on a bike.
Yes.
Whenever there's a weekend, I was like, I'm early going out on a bike that involves food, of course.
Yes.
So it's always like, something that right there, and
Yes.
I loved it. So then I started doing races. I enjoyed being on the podium.
Of course.
And I started doing even like something exotic.
So were you
rides.
competing?
I was competing when I was in the races.
And in these competitions, because, unfortunately, guys, I don't actually know how to ride a bike. Okay, let me confess.
She's my next client.
Let me actually very much confess. I have bought bikes in the past, but they are just hanging out there.
Don't buy a bike. You need to learn on a bike that's not yours.
Yes. And you need to
do everything to it.
find
Okay?
a professional. Okay, so
only 2 days.
so the fact
only
that
2 days.
2 days, I'm coming, Sarah, and we will document this and tell you guys my progress. But I say this to say the fact that I can't ride a bike, so I can't imagine the rigorous training it goes into competing.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
So if you want to, obviously it's time on the saddle, like the time that you spend on the bike.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And it depends on the type of a race that you do.
Okay.
So I've done like different races. I've done the ones in the country. Now I don't do them because I've done them. I'm plus. As we say in Arabic. Done, trusted. I just want something new.
Okay.
So I started doing things outside the country, like Spanies, 92, which is in Dubai. It's one of the biggest cycling races, and that. Imagine a highway full of cyclists going on the same speed.
Wow.
So it's like a wave. The feeling is amazing.
Yes. And people watching you, like, I can imagine the adrenaline.
Yes, they don't you don't know them, but they cheer you. It's like,
amazing. Yes.
But every time you tag along with a different group, you go fast.
Yes.
And I remember my first race, I had Bahrain written at the back of my jersey.
Yes.
And I was trying to catch up another group.
Yes.
And I was calculating. It's like this to this. I think if I sprint a little bit, I can catch up the other group that's ahead of me.
Yes.
And I'm talking about 30 meters.
Yes.
I think I can do that 30 meters.
Yes.
So I remember I left the group because when you do this, you have to be really sure that then you can go and catch the other group without killing yourself.
Okay.
Because if you kill yourself, then you lose the 2 groups. You're
You're
dead.
like worn out.
So you have to calculate here the matches you've got. You don't want to break all the matches.
Okay.
So I was like, I think I can do it. So I did. I was cycling.
Okay.
And I was like, I think I'm just going to get the speed. And then someone from the other group, go Bahrain, go Bahrain. Okay, I can't now. Going. This is embarrassing. Now I have to go.
Yeah.
And because he said it, I actually managed to catch up with the other group.
And where did you place in this race? Like, is it first, second, third, or?
So those races can have this, but it has as well. What I like about it, you get qualified for World Championship according to your category.
Okay.
So on one of the races that I've done there, I actually got qualified for World Champ. And I was
That's
so happy.
fine.
I didn't go and do it.
No, but the fact that you qualified, I mean.
But I was glad that I got qualified for
you
it in Italy.
Bahrain,
and I was like, I represented Bahrain, Italy, and all that. I was training for it. Then realized it's the same day that my daughter will go to school.
Okay. So this was after Zuhur.
After Zuhur.
So let's talk about we'll talk about just before Zuhur and just after Zuhur. So now you're cycling, you're loving it, you're setting up cycling bees. I want you to tell us how you set up cycling bees.
It wasn't planned.
Yeah.
It's so random.
Okay.
Because when I started racing and then I married Abdullah.
Okay.
I got pregnant.
Who we'll talk about as well, guys.
Okay.
How you met and the whole cycling.
It's food. So I got into I had to pause cycling. I was cycling indoors because I don't want to do anything to my daughter. There's an inside baby. You don't want to harm it. Okay. So
you were pregnant and cycling?
Indoor, yes. Indoor, yes.
Amazing.
I believe you can do it after a while, but it has to be indoor in case someone comes in front of you and has an accident. A story wouldn't help.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
So safety first. So anyway, after pregnancy, it was really hard for me to actually go back on training because I can't wake up at 5 a.m. to go for a bike ride.
Yes.
Because I was breastfeeding her at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m.
Yeah.
So how could you expect me to come up, at 5 and be at full power?
Yeah.
And I used to get attacked.
Slept and you've got this newborn baby in your hands. Yeah.
And I remember I got a bit attacked. They're like, you're not as good as before. I was like, what? I just couldn't sleep.
Yes,
I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
Like, I will give it my best.
Yes.
But I couldn't sleep.
Yes.
We always say it's a very...
Sleep is a game changer.
Exactly.
The whole motherhood pregnancy thing.
Pregnancy, even for workout,
yes.
for you to be able to give it, you have to sleep well.
Yeah.
If you don't sleep well, it's dangerous to get on the bike.
Yes. Yes.
You'll be dizzy. You'll find you'll lose your balance.
Yes.
You have to sleep.
Okay.
So I was like, you know what? I can't ride with you guys anymore. I will find my own time. So I started riding in different times.
Okay.
Sometimes 3 p.m. Sometimes like 7 a.m.
Okay.
And I would start from Sara because I live in Sara.
Okay.
And I believe, why should I take my bike on my car, drive all the way to Salam, cycle there for 1.5 hours, drive another half an hour.
So come back here.
So this is like 3 hours.
Just getting commuting.
For one,
Yes.
Like the total workout is 2 hours, and then 1 hour wasted in the traffic, which I can save it. I start cycling from Sara. And I believe cycling in small roads is safer than cycling on big roads.
I'm going to ask about that. So if you had to say the top 3 areas to cycle,
I love Sara.
Okay.
I mean Salman City. I mean Salman City is my go-to.
Okay.
This is number 1. I always cycle there.
Okay.
But you have to go early morning. It's all about the timing.
Right.
I'm not saying you cycle there in the afternoons or the evenings.
Okay.
That's why when I leave the house, it's that time.
Okay.
Sara as well is very understanding, even between the neighborhood.
Okay.
When I want to do like a 1 hour easy ride, I actually do it in Sara, and I go right, left, and then
all right. You're cycling in the morning, right?
So it's on the morning, or like, I'm comfortable. I can ride on the times that I know there's no traffic. Yes, and I would be on a mountain bike, so I can off-road if like it's a lot of traffic. But that's when I'm by myself. And when I film it, actually, those rides are the ones that people ask me, where is this little house that you featured in your ride? And I was like, well, I don't know. I need to check the video, and it will tell me the map. It's right there. So
how are you filming and cycling at the same time? That's a very
so I can ride with no hands. By the way,
fancy guys. We can't even ride. I can't even ride with hands and feet, and she can ride with no hands, guys.
It's all about practice.
Yes. Okay, we'll get there.
So cycling is how it started. I'll just tell you. So then I started cycling, and I met my friend Dana. Dana was coming from pregnancy as well, but her daughter is 1 year older than me. But she came back a bit like because she took a longer time breastfeeding.
Yes.
So I told her, how about we cycle from Sara? She's like, Sarah, I don't want to die on the road. She always says that. I was like, no, trust me. I know where to go. And she was just launching her true active leggings. So I used to tell her, Dana, this spot is nice to take a picture. So we started matching, wearing the same thing and taking pictures.
Oh, lovely.
And I was always filming on the bike. I don't even have a normal picture without a bike. Like now, you have a bike. It has to be a bike somewhere. So I remember we like filming videos, Instagramming, everything. And a bunch of girls started telling us, can we join? Can we join? And obviously the boys are like looking at me and Dana, are you guys training for Iron Man? I was like, yeah, we are. I was like, with this loads of pictures that you're taking, I was like, what's the problem?
Because
you stop and have fun.
And you can have a bit of fun.
Exactly.
Your passion and your purpose mixed together.
Exactly. So why not, But I think those pictures that we started taking inspired more girls to be comfortable to join us. So we started joining. So let's imagine it was me, Dana, and KK, okay? And I'll say, okay, tomorrow we're starting at 5 a.m., okay? From, for example, let's say you're at Nakhil Center, okay? And then I'll write to you separately, Then it was like, it's a lot of work. We changed one time, I need to remember. Who did I forget? Because you don't want to see someone showing up in the wrong place, right? So then I created a group, and I created it on WhatsApp and called it Cycling Bees. The reason it's
why did you call it Cycling Bees?
Because of my bumblebee.
Oh, because you love the color yellow. And
so it's a yellow and black. So people used to call me.
Was this one of your first bikes, or?
So this is the new one, but the first one that I got it as a bumblebee. Was trick as well.
Yellow and
beautiful. So people used to call me the bumblebee. The bee.
The bumblebee. Yes.
So then I like.
And because you've got a cute little buzzing personality as well, I think it matches.
It's just the color. I remember in Iron Man, because I did the Iron Man here in Bahrain, and it was Beast and the Bee. So people be next to me. Like, so who are you? Are you the Beast or the Bee? I would be like, look at the bike, I'm riding. I'm the Bee, obviously. And this is how like the first appearance of like the Bee in the media was Iron Man.
Oh, amazing.
But then those people started, so I was like, you know what? Let me all get them together in one group, and we called it Cycling Bees. And I remember my husband was saying, "Are you sure you want to call it Bees? Cycling Bees?" I was like, "Yeah, it's nice." It's like, keyword. I was like,
okay.
well, it can work with
Yes.
us as well.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah. So anyway, I called it Cycling Beast, but I thought that I will change the
Yes.
name eventually. We just wanted something catchy in the
Yes,
beginning.
yes,
Just
yes.
an
For
on spot.
message and for administrative purposes.
Yes, just like on spot, right?
Yes.
It was a thinking on spot. It's
Yes.
like Cycling Beast, because I can't say girls on bikes.
Yes.
I already had a WhatsApp group with this.
Yes.
So it's like this is a new group for the current.
It's very
current
catchy
group.
though.
So we called it Cycling Beast.
Yes.
I couldn't change it because people liked it.
Yes, and it was stuck. And I remember when I heard it, I was like, what a nice name.
I know.
So empowering for women
Thank
to
you.
be called something just so beautiful and fun, and why not?
That's why we kept it only for women.
Yes.
We cycled. I did all the races, all the training with boys around. Okay. And I know how uncomfortable sometimes it can get.
A little
For example,
intimidating as well.
Not much as like, sometimes you don't feel good about yourself.
Yes.
You are like, for example,
Time of the month, maybe.
time of the month.
A little bit.
You feel a bit cranky.
Yeah.
You feel a bit like pain.
Yes.
You just like don't feel comfortable talking with like men around you.
Yes.
Or like, for example, I've got pains there.
Yes.
What can I do?
Yes. Yes.
All the
Or
little
maybe even
things.
when you get on the bike, because I remember when I did get on the bike, sometimes it's uncomfortable
Yes.
in parts,
Yes.
And if there are men around, you might not want to say.
Exactly.
We love you guys. We're just talking about the female issues that we face. Okay?
Yeah, it's not only female, it's like men.
Yes.
But when you're going to talk about the pain,
Yes.
you want to be specific.
Yeah.
But you can't do it like you can if you're fine with it.
If you're a
with
comfortable
male,
person.
yes.
But
But usually, if you're a beginner, you're starting, you just
Yes.
confused. It's like, is this pain normal
Yes.
or not?
Yes.
Yes, there's sandals pain, but
Yes.
there is something called cycling shorts
Yes.
that you wear. That
I want to ask something, Sarah. In terms of how you found, because you've now turned this into a full-fledged, it's your job, like
it's like we're doing it on
fitness.
weekends.
Yes, and it's amazing.
And that's only for women because, it's the first group that we did it only for women,
Yes.
where people thought like, really, you want to do that for women only, and the crowd is all men.
Okay.
You're not gonna grow. You know how many people said that to me and Dana?
Yes.
I said, why are you doing this?
Yes.
And I remember when I went for my qualification in London,
Yes.
British cycling, and I remember I saw some of the posters
Yes.
for women only rides.
Yes.
I took a picture, I sent it to Dana. I was like, don't worry,
Yes.
it's even here.
Yes, it's
We
in
are
London.
promoting
Yes.
like girls only rides.
Yes.
So
yes.
it is like a global movement that we are on the right track. We just need to stay stronger and say no to everyone.
And also united. I think it's such a beautiful thing when women come together and empower and encourage one another.
Exactly.
You will see so much growth because the world will tell you, no, you can't do that just for women. Because even starting this podcast and this page, they don't mean it, negatively or anything, but just like, are you sure you want to do just for women? I'm like, yes, I am. Because our problems are very women specific. Like there are some things we go through that you need to speak to other women about, So, and honestly, cycling is one of those things that it might not be comfortable for someone immediately. So it's good to have somebody who's like you doing it, But I want to ask something quickly, Sarah. When did you go to school to study cycling, or how did you, in your mind, when you want to make this a thing, your work, your passion? So how did that transition happen?
Because you can ride. We had the group going, but I remember one day, and I still remember that was by the F1 parking, and I had 20 girls listening to my instructions, and I got to realize I was like, I have 20 girls listening to my instructions. Yes, I do have the experience. Okay, but I think I was like, if you're leading something, I believe you have to be qualified for that thing. Right. So I thought, like, you know what, it's time to get, qualification. And both my father and my husband were pushing me. Why don't you get a qualification? So you back your experience with knowledge.
100%.
You have it, but
knowledge and experience, there's nothing like it.
My father is an academic. He's also in the university. So obviously, he will always push for this.
And you tell the people, she also studied physics, guys. She's not just beauty and sports. She's also brain. Come on, don't be shy. So ladies, it's so important to educate yourself and have that education to stand on, because it leads you in whichever area of life you're going to do.
Exactly. So that's why when I went to British cycling, I remember in the class, first day, when people arrived, it's like, where did you come from? So everyone was complaining about, they had to get the metro, or they had to drive for an hour to get here to the campus. And I was like, where did he come from? I was like, I actually flew in for this guy.
I flew in from abroad.
And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm from Bahrain, I flew in for this. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, because I want to get something proper and I want a proper qualification.
Yes.
So in the cycling world, it's British Cycling or UCI.
Yes.
And I believe in the British curriculum, so
we rock guys.
So I was like, you know, I flew in, they're like, oh my god.
Yes.
So when I came back to the country, to Bahrain, they were like, you know, I was all around the media.
Okay.
Because I was the first one to actually, or first female to get actually qualification in cycling.
And you've left the country and you've come back.
Yes.
And it's so amazing that you've come back to put it back in your country. Because
exactly.
That's something I want to talk about. Because sometimes some people develop, with being Nigerian, I've said this before to people, you develop, you become popular, you become great at what you're doing, and then you leave your country.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to see that you have put it back into your country. And there's that pride of kind of putting Bahrain on the map.
Exactly, because guess what? A lot of the girls here have never been on a bike as a kid, you know, like you as well, right?
Never.
So for you, if you want to get on the bike, yalla, Kiki, go.
Yes.
No, it doesn't make sense because you don't know what should I put my foot, what should I put my hand, what should I put my head, what should I do? It's all a lot of things, you know. So in British cycling, I actually learned the scientific aspect from cycling.
Yes.
So why do you have to put your foot there?
Yes.
It's because the torque is higher there. So I actually learned the
science to it.
Exactly. So that's why you can learn in 2 days.
I'm done.
You know?
She sold it to me, guys. 2 days. Honestly, before Christmas, watch this space. I will be riding a bike. Okay?
Yeah. Because I believe in science. I believe if you base anything on natural forces in the world, then of course you will learn. Okay?
Of course.
And this is what British cycling is about. So when I came back to the country, and when clients sign up with me, I actually explain to them the science. Okay. And I tell them, I hope you do enjoy science.
Yes.
If not, you'll still have to listen to
this.
Because even if you don't know, but it will make sense because I'll relate it to things that you see while driving or things that you do in lifestyle wise that you realize that it's the same that you can be reflected in cycling. So you'll be amazed at how the connection can be made. And you'll be like, you believe it, you let go, and you'll start listening to this. And you'll learn in 2 days. Obviously, you're not going to be a straight line in the first day. But I mean, like, you know, we'll talk about it. So it's level 2, and then, you know, you get other techniques and all that. But I don't think it's possible because I don't want women to feel like they're not empowered with cycling. Cycling is a good skill, you know.
And it's something that you can take in your own pace.
And it's fun.
It's fun.
You know, that's why cycling bee started to grow because people started to join for the fun part. You know, but they realized we're actually working out as well.
I think that when you're working out and having fun, you can do it more.
Exactly. We do trick them. So there are a lot of hidden.
Oh, nice. I've learned so much, guys, about cycling and cycling bees and everything. And thank you so much, Sarah, for telling us that. I'm going to delve into your personal now.
Okay? Time to leave, guys. Nice to have you.
We're going to delve into Sarah's personal.
So, I run away.
No, you can. So tell me, I like for women to know about different ways in which, for example, to meet their partners and if they're not into the same stuff as you, or, you know, just to encourage people that it's okay and for young ladies to get out there. I don't know, Abdullah. I don't know him.
So actually,
how did you guys meet?
It's a good question. That's why I actually, you know, try to feature Abdullah in my Instagram page.
Does he like it though? Is he one of these guys that he's okay with it?
He's like, you know, when he has a good mood,
he's
fine.
My husband hates it.
I bully him.
Do you? Because I was telling my husband, I said, I'm going to do this social media platform. He's like, don't mention me. Don't talk about me. I was like, why? He's like, just don't. I don't want to be on camera. You and your friends and all the women, you guys can lead and change the world. We'll be in the background, you know. But I love the fact that you do feature him and talk about him.
Because, you know, like some of the girls on Instagram actually said that to me. They said, thank you, Sarah, for actually giving us hope that there is love. And I remember
in Bahrain.
And like, you know, one of them was like, because we got featured as couples for the first time on TV with NBC. And we were talking about love. I don't know how we got picked up, but it was so random. We got picked up by NBC.
Because you have such an amazing personality.
Well, I don't know. I did. You know,
and you talked to a lot of people.
I smacked him on video. So that video went viral, maybe 40,000 shares. And I was like, what is that?
All the women always smacking the husband, so they believe it.
I sent it to you. You can see the smack. It's actually pinned on my page. I remember
really?
it. You wait until like you pass the 30 seconds, you'll see the smack. So a lot of people thought, because I'm crazy about cycling,
Yes.
and I love bikes and I love cycling.
Yes.
And whenever I'm bored, I'll see me on the bike.
Yes.
Whenever like there's something, I was on the bike.
Yes.
You know. And in a turn, like I'll struggle when like newspapers or magazines would
Yes.
ask me for photos.
Yes.
I'll always have a selfie with a bike
Okay.
or a selfie picture standing with a bike.
Yes.
And they're like, no, can we have a picture alone? I was like, yes,
you.
you can. So I would be wearing a cycling gear with a helmet on. They're like, with no helmet.
We want to
I was
see
like, okay,
you.
with the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Without the glasses.
We
I was
just
like,
want you, Sarah.
and they were like, oh,
Yes.
you need to take a photo, in that because everything has to be on a bike.
Yes.
So people assume for me to actually get married or fall in love, he has to be a cyclist.
I think there's that conception of if you're really into fitness, if you're really into sort of that your spouse is automatically going to be that sort of
Exactly.
person. So before we even get there, meeting in Bahrain, because I would say as an expat out looking in, right?
Yeah.
We are surrounded by just married couples all the time, right?
Yeah.
Which is amazing. We love you all. I remember
Yeah.
somebody being like, there's nobody in Bahrain. And I thought to myself, I know people who've met people in Bahrain. So tell me how you met, how you did it, and what advice do you give the singles in our wonderful sandpit on how to meet people?
Do you know how I met Abdullah?
Did you go to his restaurant?
Yes. So
So now, ladies, go to all the restaurants, find out if the men are single. The chef.
So imagine he saw me in my worst cases. So I used to cycle with the boys, right?
Yes.
This is like before cycling bees, because cycling bees happened after pregnancy,
Okay.
after Zuhur, right? So before that, I used to cycle with the boys. Yeah.
Okay.
And we would do like 100K, on Fridays.
Wow.
Out in the
100K.
sun, out in the sun. So you come back after 3 hours being exposed.
Yes.
Your skin is crunchy.
Yeah.
Because of the
heat
dust and the heat.
dust.
And so I used to go to a mawash.
Okay.
And I remember I would keep my glasses on, wear a hat,
Okay.
and just
Looking like a spy.
just not have any eye contact with
Yes.
anyone and sit outside because you're so smelly.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So I was like, I wouldn't risk it and go inside. So this is how I met Abdullah.
Wow.
Ordering chickpeas for breakfast because I don't like eggs. And he was like,
You don't like eggs?
oh wait, this is the story.
Wow.
So the men looked at me and was like, how can you live on chickpeas? You need real protein. I was like, what do you mean with real protein?
Yes.
Chickpeas has protein.
Protein, yeah.
And they said, no, you need eggs. I was like, I hate eggs. I did not have eggs for 15 years.
Yes. Wow.
I keep trying them.
Yes, yes.
But it's always like there's an aftertaste in my tongue that I don't like
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So they said, no, try something. So
Okay.
I remember I called Abdullah,
Yes.
and he came.
Oh,
Yes,
because you knew
Sarah.
his name then, and you.
I knew
Okay,
because
so you
he's
knew
always
him.
there.
Okay,
He's always
okay,
there.
okay,
So we know he's the owner.
Oh, okay.
And he's
okay,
there. Hi.
Okay.
So I was like, Abdullah? He's like, yeah. I was like, listen, I hate eggs.
Okay.
I don't like eggs.
I don't.
I didn't have eggs for 15 years.
Yes.
But the boys are bullying me to get something.
Yes.
So what do you recommend that would be nice?
Yeah.
I believe deep in his heart he said, what kind of a client is this?
Yeah. She's a tough one.
Yeah. So he said, July, how about eggs with tomatoes? I was like, what?
Do you know what? For me, that would have been my worst nightmare because
Me too.
I hate tomatoes.
Me too. I hate tomatoes. I was like,
Honestly.
I hate tomatoes.
Yes.
He's like, wait, do you like cheese? I was like, of course I love cheese. I'm a typical Korean who loves cheese.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, okay, then add cheese on the top. I was like, are you sure? I hate eggs, I hate tomatoes, but I love cheese.
Yes.
He said, yes, just try it. If you don't like it, it's
Yes.
fine, you're not going to pay for it.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Oh, that's
okay.
nice.
I know, he was just saying.
Oh, maybe he had a little like for you as well. A
I
little
don't-
bit in the
I don't
beginning.
think so.
That's nice.
I was stinky, I was dusty.
You were crusty.
Punchy once in a while. So
Yes.
ugly. So I remember I told him, okay, fine. I
Okay.
tried it and I fell in love with it.
Oh, lovely.
So I started going emotional more often.
Oh, I love that. That's strategic, ladies. Honestly, if you're looking for a spouse, Sarah has told you, go to the restaurants, find out who the chefs are, speak to them, and get to know. You find love.
Free
In
food
all-
for life.
In all places. Does he cook all your dinners and stuff as well? Or you get
I just started cooking for myself,
Yes, yes.
right? But for the past 9 years, he's been cooking for me.
Honestly, I'm sending my husband to him to teach him. But
That's why I married
amazing.
him. I was
I
like,
love
oh, the
that.
food is good.
Yes.
The guy must be nice.
Yes,
as well.
yes.
So then I fell in love with Abdullah.
Okay.
But don't say that, it's Abdullah.
So there's hope in Bahrain, guys. So please go out there and
Yeah.
talk to people, and you can have what Sarah has, guys.
Oh. Food, it's the food. It's the food. Easiest way.
So let's talk about something that I just want to talk about a little bit in relation to your daughter.
Yes.
She's gone back to school.
Yeah.
How was your summer? How did you guys spend your summer? How are you feeling now that she's back in school? Just tell us a little bit about that.
So during summer, it was a quite nice summer. We did a short trip, reconnect with the family, and then back here.
Yes, yes.
Zura is very easygoing, I would say.
Okay.
So since she was actually born, she was always on the go.
Okay.
Bless her. She didn't have an option.
Yes,
she had to be on the go.
Yes. From the start, she was on the bike, right?
Yes. So I think, and I can see it because when I take her out with her friends, and we spend like a full day out.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they are so tired.
Yes.
They're like asking to go back home.
Okay, her friends.
You know, or
they're like
her friends.
Yes, they're tired.
Okay. Yeah. But she's fine. Like she's used to it. She's used to the hard rides. She's used to like being in different places.
Yes. So she's quite active. Like, is she into cycling and sports or?
So I tell this to people who want to train their kids as well.
Okay.
Don't force them if they don't want it.
Okay.
It is hard as a parent.
Okay.
But I went through this as well.
Okay.
And I think that was a lesson for me from God to say, see, you say this to your to your people, and you have to prove it.
Yes.
And I was like, I did not push her. She was on a support wheel for a good 2 years.
Okay.
From 4 to 6. She didn't want to take it off.
Okay.
Even though from a coach perspective, she was ready because I did some stuff with her. But emotionally, she wasn't able to let it go.
Yes.
So I remember I used to take videos of her. We're cycling in the rain together. She loves cycling in the muddy puddles.
Yes.
I'm not sure I do enjoy that. She enjoys it.
She enjoys it.
So I take a video of her doing that.
Yes.
It's
and
good.
she took it in her own time.
Yeah, she took
and
it
now
her own
she
time.
absolutely loves.
Exactly.
Okay, amazing.
So a lot of people cyclists, will bully me. They're like, how come your daughter is not cycling? I was like, well, because she's not ready.
Yes.
That is what I keep telling
This is
people.
what I'm saying, guys. Keep it cute or keep it new. I said this in my last post.
Yeah.
People don't know what it is that you're going through, what's happening in your house.
Yeah.
But luckily,
don't push.
Yes, but luckily you're somebody with a strong fortitude,
Yeah.
a strong mind. Somebody else could have felt quite bad about that because you're like, oh, it is true. I can ride this bike. How can my daughter? If you weren't Sarah, you would feel that.
And I had that with one of the clients. I remember there was a grandmother bringing her son, her grandson, to me to learn cycling.
Yes.
And then he wasn't ready.
Okay.
He's not there. He's like, you're pushing him.
Yes.
But he loves me. I was like, I'm happy to have him for a play date if you want. Okay. But it's a waste of money. You're paying. At the end of the day, you're paying me. Okay.
Yes.
So as a parent, I'm telling you, this is wasted money.
Yes.
Because, he doesn't want to push.
Yes.
Cycling,
He's not
you
ready.
should be able to enjoy that movement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But it's not his cup of tea at the moment. I told her, listen, I waited 2 years for my daughter as well.
Yes.
And then now she doesn't want to stop cycling. She likes to go to the cafes on a bike. So, and she no, Sarah, if you don't want to have us, tell us. I was like, no, I'm not saying this. I'm just telling you from a coach perspective.
Yes.
And as a parent, okay? And she's like, if you're fine of having us.
Yes.
I was like, fine, you want to pay me this? I'm happy to take your money.
I'll gladly take your money.
But I'm telling you, it's a wasted money,
Yes.
And I remember she went, on for a good 3 times after I told her this.
Yes.
And then she said, okay, Sarah, we will try to give it some time and then we'll come back. I said,
That's
yes, it's good, because I don't want him to actually feel that he's being pushed on it.
Yes.
And
to the point where he dislikes it. You don't want someone being pushed. So your advice there would be, with cycling, like anything in life, take your time.
Yes, and I think what happened at the right time.
Yes, there is a season for everything.
Yes, season.
Yes, I do.
It didn't happen with you because there's a reason. I have a lot of people who speak to me, by the way, for years on Instagram, asking about the course. So how does it work?
Yes, asking questions.
I was like, it's only 2 days.
Yes.
And then
I think she's talking about me here, guys, because I every time I say, I'm like,
there's 2 years, not 2 years,
yes,
1 year.
It's just 1 year. I said to her, well, this looks nice. Where is this? How does it work? And still, I've not gotten it. But it is part of I had a rough year last year. It is part of my New Year self.
It could be that.
To learn about this side.
Yeah, so it's always there. Like, I remember this girl, we became friends on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. So, and I never met her. So one day I remember Nike, she said, hi, Sarah. I like her. Hi there.
Like, I'm not sure who you are.
She's like, that's me, the one with the twins, and I kept asking about coming over. I was like, oh my god, that's you, finally.
She's not talking about me, guys. She's talking about someone else.
Someone with, actually twins as well.
Someone else with twins, okay? She's not talking about me.
I just realized that. Then she did come to level 1. She learned cycling, and I told her, listen, for you to be able to actually cycle on the road, you need level 2. Otherwise it's dangerous.
Yes.
So yes, I'll come back.
Okay.
She disappeared again.
Oh,
That's another 2 years now.
Oh my goodness.
It's
So
so
I'm
funny.
going to ask one major advice that you would give for people if they want to cycle for safely, because I know there was a period in time in which there were few accidents on the road and things like that, right? I have a feeling it's to do with the fact that the way traffic and driving works in Bahrain can be a little bit dangerous. What is the best advice, would you say, for cyclists, especially at night?
So in Bahrain, we do have cycling lanes. And
we do?
We do, yes. See?
We're going to have to go out and take some pictures, guys, and send you guys to show you.
So we do have cycling lanes, but we do believe in sharing the road with vehicles as well. Okay. So, yes, because, you know, the cycling lanes are not connected together. So if you want to cycle, you'll have to be a bit on the road and a bit on the cycling. But there are cycling lanes that are traffic free. I've mentioned all of them on my website because I get asked this a lot. As a
you have
newcomers
to share it
to the
with us.
country.
We'll share it with the people.
You know, so like newcomers to the Bahrain, they're like, we're cycling. You know, we just came from like the UK and we're like looking for a cycling lane. I was like, you know, so I instead of like, you know, just saying, I just give them the list and they are free to
fantastic.
because some of them are traffic free, some of them are not traffic free, some of them are like small, like a short distance, some of them are long. So it depends on how you feel, what time you're gonna cycle. I believe if you're gonna cycle outside your house, it depends on the time that you go out. If you're gonna go in rush hour, of course people are not gonna notice there's a cyclist.
And it's more dangerous.
It's more dangerous. Always don't go out alone. Because if you're one by yourself, if anything happens, then you're on the road. But if you're two on the road, you're more visual. You know, people can see you, the cyclist.
Amazing.
So the possibility to have an accident is less. Cycling in a group is better. And the time. This is what I would say. Timing and route and where to cycle is very important. I believe you can cycle most of the time. I cycle in a lot of places in Bahrain.
Would you say that these there's some vests and stuff that people wear at nighttime that like illuminate light or reflect light?
You can wear this. You can wear lights. I wear like big light. I have like I call it the Christmas tree helmet. Because this is what people say when I show up in a group live. I remember that was one of the men who actually left the country. It's like, Sarah, is it Christmas yet? You know? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what is this? You know, celebration
on your head.
Christmas lights that's going on your head. I was like, come on, Fran, you know, this is like for safety. I was like, you're in a group, don't worry.
Safety first.
That's a lot.
I
was like, I'm a cycler from my home, so I need to be like more like alone, you know, and I want to be. But this is really good because it's higher. So as a driver, if you're a Jeep driver, you can see it more. So it's more visual.
Amazing.
So safety aspect, yes. You know, if you're cycling, like if I'm cycling in the afternoon or at night, I would go on a mountain bike, not this bike. Because this I have to be fully on the road. So that means, you know, some drivers will leave some space away from you, but sometimes they can't. And I believe don't fight with cars. Sometimes they leave a space with you. They think it's a lot of space. But for you as a cyclist, you know, it goes like that. So it's like the education will be there. I believe in education.
Are there certain like specific like cycling gestures that people are supposed to know when they're cycling? Like
you have to
stop. Can you show us one? Is
like you know, obviously, like
I see them always doing hands.
No, that's just like being nice. Thank you. You know, but usually you have to give a signal, like, and that's, you know, right, left, you know, stopping, slowing. These are universal. So everyone
do you teach your people kind of tell us?
This is level 2.
I'm gonna love
That's why I say it's very important to actually learn how to ride, but know the rules. And I tell my girls when they travel, because a lot of them they learn it because they want to travel. And they cycle outside the country because it's more fun and no one is looking back. So when I tell them to go there, you have to make sure you don't do mistakes on the road because you're actually representing your country. So when you do something big mistake, but like from the look, I know that you don't come from that country. So when they see like an Arab girl, say, oh, you Arab don't know how to ride a bike. So I feel really bad. I was like, please, like, don't do this because they're assuming you don't, you're a bad rider, but you're not. You just don't know.
The rules.
So just at least know the rules. So when you go there, you don't encounter such a problem. But represents the country, and they say, "Oh my God, you guys don't have education or the culture." It's like no, it's just like Yes, you know, because I've been.
So we've learned a lot today, Sarah, about you, cycling, how you found love, your daughter. I think we've had some very candid and honest discussion. I'm not going to ask too much more, but there's one question that I always like to ask my guests before we leave. Okay? If you had to give one candid piece of advice to women out there on how to remain authentically themselves, like to be themselves, because you walk in your truth. You are Sarah. Like, I cycle, this is me, take me or leave me. You know what I mean? What is the one piece of advice you would give women how to remain true to themselves and be authentically themselves?
Always be yourself and follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Even when you meet someone, don't fake your character.
Yes.
When you like, you know, start something, just give it how you feel.
Yes.
Don't give more, don't give less.
Yes.
You know,
go with your feelings.
Just go with the feelings, and it's a guide. You know, you'll be guided.
It will work out.
You know, it will come back.
Thank
I
you
believe
so
in the law of
much.
attraction.
I do.
So 100%. It will come to you in a way.
You will receive what you give.
Yes.
Yes.
So just believe in yourself.
Oh, fantastic. We want to say a massive thank you to Sarah because this has been such an enlightening conversation. And I believe that after this conversation, you're going to get a lot of women who really want to get back into cycling or learn for the first time, like me. And we'll definitely keep you updated on that, guys. So thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
This has been Candid Kicks. Hope to catch you next time, guys. Bye.